1, 2, 3. Let's get
There
Mike
we
to
go.
check the mics. Did you do your
Right,
clap?
we've got 10 minutes.
Listen, okay, are you sure we're going to share the story?
Yeah, we can share the story. Let's go ahead.
Okay, everybody, we are actually excited. We decided that today we just wanted to do a quick session and just share something that's actually pretty personal. But we're doing it because in the hope that it really motivates some of the people out there and really just sort of lights a fire if a fire needs to be lit. So I'll kick it off, and then Dan, you can obviously share your comment. We partnered and started a business around about 18 months ago, and we really set up a great structure in terms of how we're going to finance everything and how we're going to drive the business, and started appointing people, and things really went well. And about 5 months in, I suspect, we actually didn't confirm the dates, 100%, but I think it was about 5 months in, we got ran over by somebody. Somebody literally stole a substantial amount of our capital in I want to say steal. We're obviously busy with a few things, but maybe I'll just put it out there. Somebody stole a substantial amount of our capital in a deal, and it really put us into a difficult position. Not necessarily. 5 months in, you've got all of this energy and all of this motivation.
It was about, I think it was 5 months in after we started Greater, but it was about a year after we started our new ventures.
100%.
Yeah.
So yes, and
Yeah.
that's where obviously I want you to get in, because we actually haven't had time to really unpack this, just because we've been pushing so hard since this incident. But the long and the short is, it was really a tough spot, and it happened very, very quickly. You can imagine setting up a business, appointing people, driving all of our initiatives within one of the businesses, and then actually going through a situation where such a substantial amount of your capital, gets cut out. It was really, really, really tough, and I don't want to underplay that. It was really tough. Here's the point that I want to make just to kick DáNiel off, and I think this is actually the keynote of what we want to share today. Is literally on that day, we are three partners in the business. On that day when the proverbial shit hit the fan, DáNiel actually was the guy, and I honor him for that. This happened, and we sat around the table, and DáNiel looked at us, and he said the following. He says, "You know what, guys, this is the best thing that could have happened to us." That's the first thing that he said. And I was like, man, okay, please continue. You'll need to elaborate on this. And the next thing that he said was, this thing happens to people somewhere in their business journey. And some people it breaks, and other people it builds. And we need to decide today, in this moment, I'm talking minutes after this happened. He said, we need to decide today, are we going to allow this thing to break us and come between us? Or are we going to allow this thing to build us and light a fire in us to run even harder than we were running? And I don't want to steal your thunder, so I'll just position it for you. What happened then was, obviously, the three of us literally said, this is not coming between us, and we're going to run now like you haven't seen before, like no one has seen before. And
we didn't have a choice.
well, I mean, we could have.
That was the typical point, or the pivotal point for
Yes.
us to decide, listen, are we going to lay low or not lay low, go, just put ourselves in a corner and,
Yes.
sit there. But yeah, so
The point is, and then we started running, and this was obviously.
the thing is, I think, so just to give a little bit context, so we had a great investment, and we, how can I say, structured everything around things to run smoothly, and everything ran smoothly. And like Stefan now said, we got the news of us, got money stole from us, and it's literally not just the investment, there was a lot with it that got stolen, and the news were actually broken around this boardroom table.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Face to face.
Yeah. So, but the thing is there's a small story that my father. So when that happened, I immediately thought of that situation where I were in, where somebody built a building for my father, and there was also an amount of money stole from him. And I was still obviously young back then, and I asked him, listen, are we going to go? It was one of the major banks in the country that needed to, how can I say, so what happened is it was a phishing situation with our architecture. They stole the money out of his bank account. It was his negligence. And my father just made the choice of he's not going to chase that money. And it was weird for me, because in that situation, I thought, how is it possible we're not chasing this money? We need to, it's substantial amounts of money, we need to chase it. And it's not like, because sometimes people can take it off, he's think he got too much money or whatever the case might be. Yeah. But in that sense, his heart was just, he said to me, DáNiel, we can chase that and it's going to drain us. Or we can just focus on what we are good at and just keep our focus on, because that's going to be, lawsuits, it's going to be all that stuff. And he says, it was his negligence. We're not going to see that money. So let's just focus on what we do and we fight. And if we focus on what we do, we're going to make way more back. But it was the principle behind it, and we were in the exact same. We actually lost way more than that situation.
Don't remind me.
But the principle were, okay, now we can sit in that situation and we can, have sleepless nights around that situation. Or we made the decision that we made to say, listen, this is now fire up in our asses. Now we need to work 4 times harder, and maybe we'll get the money back, maybe not. We're not bargaining on it.
Yes.
But we built it. Look what we built in this last. So our projections, just to give you guys, we had a slow growth curve on our projections and forecasts and all of that stuff. But after that bad situation, and we, didn't use that as an excuse. We used that as fuel to, build businesses and to expand quite rapidly. We expanded like 10 times more than what we expected we're going to have to grow curve, just because of that fire up 100%. In our, asses.
And today we're sitting in a position where we're driving the businesses, and our target for this year literally is 20x what it was last year. So, and I think this is the point. Things happen in life, and again, I mean, we're not sharing detail, because it's just not, I think, that relevant for now. But it was really, really tough. It was a very tight spot. So the point being that bad things happen, but you have an option or an opportunity in that moment, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're building business and you've got big vision and big goals, to make a decision, to make a call, if you're going to allow that thing to break you, or you're going to allow that thing to actually build you.
And if you always have a decision.
100. Yes, this is the thing. You carry the power and the authority to make that decision, right? And if you make the decision to allow that thing to build you, and you lean into it, and you really 10x your effort, 4x, 5x your effort, whatever you want to, put to that, you will actually see the fruit. DáNiel always talks about the fact that principles either work for you or they work against you.
If you violate them, they're your worst enemy.
100%. You violate principles, you got principles working against you, and that's a very, very bad fight to fight. But if you work with principle, and principle works for you, goodness, it's like getting into the fast lane.
Listen, and it wasn't easy, to be honest. We did make the choice, but the first 3 months it was tough.
We're downplaying it now. Maybe we'll do a subsequent episode and give some detail.
But the thing is, it's making that decision and keeping to it. We decided that's not going to be our downfall. Because, and I remember the exact thought that went through my mind is, when we were sitting here, I was actually sitting there, and I thought, yes, this is that moment in some people's life that this is their tipping point, and they never get out of this. Their minds cannot get out of this because they're blaming, or this is the verstand. Let me not go that side, but it's making that conscious decision, and it wasn't easy. So there was 3 months where we were on you get me, we were going, 100%. And then all of a sudden, we just took off.
And also what you're reminding me of is simply the fact that it also talks to surrounding yourself with the right people. People have heard this saying so many times, but I think it's worth reiterating it, because people downplay it because it's been so overused. This was an instance where if we had the wrong people around us, I don't want to say we would have quit, but it would have been a dire situation in the sense of actually finding the motivation to go for it.
There are other people in the same exact situation where we are, and they down and out.
Yes.
Verstaan? So, because this is, so let's not go into the detail. It's difficult to not go into the detail, but certain people decided otherwise, other people decided otherwise. There's a big other group that also got fire up in their arse and they decided to go. There's a big group that decided to,
to quit.
Yeah, to quit and give up because this was their one shot or whatever, life savings or whatever the case might be. But so there's two things for me, is to obviously, you always have the decision, good or bad. We were now in a big situation where we got dropped of capital, and we had the decision. We think we made the right decision in our situation, but it's the same thing of being vigilant on people out there to steal your money. To be vigilant on who you give your money to.
Yes, that unction.
That unction, to follow your gut, to make sure that you never violate that boss, that's
that internal.
That's placed inside of you. So so this
for
is
time,
a short one,
because I see our cameraman is signaling us. For time's sake, quickly, just final thoughts on this, especially for entrepreneurs, because I mean it is tough, and again we're downplaying it a bit. So there's
I would say move fast. The thing is, we did move fast.
Yes.
We move fast as well into this investment side.
Yes.
But you are in a business career. You cannot think you're going to run in business and never get, let's say, bullshitted or get, somebody outsmart you within, stealing your money or whatever. Everything's not always going to be perfect.
100%.
But move fast and make decisions. Never. Do not.
And wise counsel. You have to have the right people around you. Yes.
Yeah, wise counsel. But the thing is, for me, a big thing for me is to constantly make decisions, but following your unction.
Got you.
For me, that's the thing, because you get me. In our situation, we could have said, "Nah, not do this investment." Then we would have not been in the situation we were at.
100%. Well, now, right? And we wouldn't have built.
So I would have not changed whatever happened.
Yes.
That's it. What happened. So
from my side, just quickly, it's simple for the entrepreneurs out there. Tough times will come.
Yeah.
But you have to have a never say die attitude. You have to. You stay committed to the vision, and you move fast. You'll see you will bear the fruit. So I hope that helps somebody out there, motivate you if you're going through a tough time. Yeah, and keep rocking it.
Cheers.
Alrighty. Cheers.
There we go.